Okay. It is... Oh my god. Okay. How much of this video is going to just be my video? Thank the Lord you finally covered Brodie. Another scalp. Wait, so you're arguing... Oh my fuck. Oh my god. Is he gonna misunderstand the entire fucking video? Oh, okay. Okay, let's put up... Yeah, you know what? 1.5 times speed. That's a good point. Okay. Okay. Let's watch your video.
Pretty well established by everybody with any sort of tech background that at this point, you should not be running Windows 7. Now, before anyone says so, I know there are industry edge cases, but there are also people running 40-plus-year-old mainframes, and you're not running a factory, you're trying to play some video games. Now, I do have empathy for people that are running ancient hardware that cannot afford something newer, but at this point, you're going to be so much better off with literally any supported Linux distro. If you have a Windows 7 machine, this should be a dedicated gaming box. You shouldn't be doing anything sensitive on this. You shouldn't be browsing the web. It should only be used for gaming. This is not a safe machine to use. But most of you probably agree with that.
For the record, I completely...
Okay, thank fuck. Why is the first minute of your video my video? Oh my god. Oh my god, most of this video is going to be my video. Oh my god, most of the video is going to be my fucking video. Oh. Okay. You know what? Let's... No, don't jump back that far. That's not... You aren't noticing what that's saying. Wait, I just noticed something. When you set the playback speed, it affects how far the 5-second jump. How far the 5-second jump goes. I didn't know it did that. That seems like a bug, YouTube. Brodie hates himself, let's go. I've watched this video 3 times already. I've watched my video so many fucking times. I don't want to watch it again.
For the record, I completely agree with Brodie. Unless it's installed on an air-gapped...
Is this AI-generated voice? Let me hear it at normal speed.
...computer. Nobody should be using Windows 7 or any other outdated operating system.
And it look...
Is that an AI voice? Is that an AI voice or do you just have a weird inflection? I can't tell. That's AI? It feels like AI.
7 or any other outdated operating system.
And
I want to... We'll bring up his channel in a second.
it looks like Valve feels the same way as well, because on January 1st, 2024, Windows 7 and Windows 8 support is going away. And the reason for doing this is pretty straightforward. This change is required as
what
the
fuck? Wait, surely there's gotta be something in there. Three fucking solid minutes of my video. 3 solid minutes of my video before he says anything.
Which no longer functions on older versions of Windows. This is pretty obvious that's the case, but if you go to basically any page on the Steam client, it's just loading up a web page. And that's because modern Steam isn't really a desktop application in a traditional sense. It's basically a glorified web browser limited to just the Steam service. In addition, future versions of Steam will require Windows features and security updates only present in Windows 10 and above.
This is XQC level reaction content.
User. We strongly encourage all Windows 7, 8, and 8.1 users
I'm allowed to not
update
react,
sooner
it's just
rather
my
than
video.
later. Microsoft ended security update and
I'm just gonna
support for Windows 7 in January 2020 and Windows 8.1 in January 2023. Computers running these operating systems when connected to the internet are susceptible to new malware.
I guess we're reacting to my own
not
video.
Be patched. That malware can
Very
cause your
true,
PC,
Brodie.
Steam, and games to perform poorly or crash. That malware can also be used to steal the credentials for your Steam account.
Great point,
or
Brodie.
other
Great
services.
point.
Steam will stop running on Windows 7 in X days. F that noise. They say they'll deny me the ability to
Actually, now it's a couple of days ago.
play the games that I paid for with the money unless I upgrade my OS. This seems like a lawsuit. Let's see, and multiplayer interoperability. Valve may need to automatically update, preload, create new versions.
There's also isn't there like a 2 times option speed? Shit, I skipped ahead too far. How fast does YouTube go? 2? Yeah, there we go.
to use the content and services may change over time. You consent to such automatic updating.
It's not even-
it
it's
would be
not
nuts
fast
if
enough.
You could play all your Steam games without DRM, without the Steam client here. That would be
This is
great,
how
and there are
fast I
services
edit
that
my
GOG offer.
videos, by the
But if
way.
you buy games through Steam, you're accepting the fact that you're not actually buying a game. You are buying a license to play the game through the Steam client. And sometimes, you gotta stop using an ancient, unsupported operating system.
This is where I diverge from.
Okay. Let's hear it. Let's hear your super point. Let's hear you not understand what the fuck the Steam TOS is.
Using an ancient, unsupported operating system.
This is where I diverge from Brodie, and is the whole point of responding to his video. He's essentially conflating
5 minutes into it! 5 minutes in is where we get to the fucking point! 4 fucking minutes of my own video before you say anything. Okay, what is your point?
two separate issues. Using outdated software and the rights of consumers. Again, I'm in agreement that nobody should be using outdated software. But citing terms of service as a reason to dismiss some of these user concerns is ignorant at best and disingenuous at worst.
But that
No, it's not. When you buy a game on Steam, you are buying a license to play that game. You're not buying a license to play that game on Windows 7 or on Windows 10 or on Windows 8. That game is attached to your account. If you choose to not use the minimum requirement for the client to play the game, they're not taking your games away from you. The games are still there. You can still play them. You just need to run the minimum fucking requirements to use the system to play the games. Fuck's sake. I read so many comments making the exact same fucking argument. Okay, let's go back to double speed, I guess. How much of my own video is there? Okay, there's a minute. We'll just go double speed. That's fine.
is not going to stop people dropping the lawsuit idea. This is not just a one-off person suggesting it.
Well, it's not even the DRM thing, right? Like, the game, you can still play the games. You're still entirely able to play the games. It's just the client doesn't support your OS anymore. You have to keep upgrading to the OS that supports your client. Like...
Save Windows 7 or we sue Valve. I have been running Windows 7 like many...
Like, if you're not going to talk about this part, why include it in your reaction video?
years and have a massive catalog of games that listed support for Windows 7 at the time of purchase. If you, as a platform, choose to brick my Steam install and prevent me from ever playing my games again, you can expect another class action lawsuit demanding entire account-based refunds. But hey, maybe that would cheat you into retaining a legacy version of your product you've built a monopoly out of. Valve also still advertises games that put Windows 7 in the specs to run the game. If you want to benefit from the marketing of Windows 7 in 2023, you cannot also discontinue it the same year. That's the same reason why warranties exist. Otherwise, companies would make their products less durable to die within a year. It's been EOL for the past 3 years, my guy. So I don't care what the TOS says. No one can be realistically expected to read it all anyways, and a court could totally side against Valve on this.
The user isn't wrong. Terms of service
Oh my god. Okay, what are you gonna say?
agreements have become so ridiculously long and difficult to read that only a lawyer would be able to understand it all. It's definitely unreasonable for someone to read all of it, which is why companies love keeping these agreements ridiculously long. This way they can do whatever they want, as long as it's buried somewhere within the terms. It also doesn't help that you have ignorant people like Brodie defending companies for using this practice.
They put it in a fucking public announcement, you dickhead. They literally announced it in plain English. Fuck's sake. Oh my god. Wait, shift is... Wait, is that? I didn't know that. I don't... Oh, it is. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Hate to break it to you, Brodie, but saying it's in the terms of service is nothing more than a cop-out excuse, rather than an actual argument.
Valve...
No, it's not. They warned you a fucking year in advance that they're gonna drop support for it. It's not a cop-out. It's in plain English outside of the TOS. You don't even know what you're talking about. Okay, let's keep going.
Are scammers taking away our games. You could have at least some legacy launcher, but you're too lazy to do so or got paid by Microsoft. You don't need to get paid by Microsoft to stop supporting the operating system that they're not supporting anymore. Everybody is dropping it unless they've already done so. And now we're robbed of old games. Not all of us are playing live service junk that gets useless updates every week. GOG is the king. All games you bought there, you can download and install on Windows 7. Even Windows XP games support it. And if you want playtime achievements, you can install GOG Galaxy 1.2 launcher that works on Windows 7 fine. Even GOG 2.0 is not dropping Windows 7 support. GOG is a great service, and if you want to be able to play your games on these old systems, buy your games there. Nobody is stopping you doing that. But you didn't buy your games there, you bought them on Steam. You bought them knowing there was going to be DRM, and knowing that eventually the Steam client would need to be updated. You made that choice, nobody else.
Don't you think that's a bit misleading?
No, it's not misleading because you fucking bought them!
If a certain marketplace was the only way to legitimately purchase games, that's not a choice.
Okay, let's bring up the Gabe Newell... Fucking Gabe Newell quote. Okay. Okay, here we go. The easiest way to stop piracy is not by putting anti-piracy technology to work, it's by giving those people a service that's better than what they're receiving from the pirates. If you think the service is bad, pirate the game. If you think the service that Valve's offering is bad, pirate the game. You don't, though, because you think the service is good. But you don't agree with the service when all of a sudden this one little issue comes up where you should be updating your OS anyway.
For example, if I bought a game on release day and it was only usable through Microsoft's games for Windows Live Service, that's not...
I don't know why you would buy a game there. First point.
For example, if I bought a game on release day and it was only usable through Microsoft's games for Windows Live Service, that's not a choice. Steam has been around much
Yes, it is. Pirate the game.
longer than GOG, and gamers have spent tons of money on Steam in that time. Why?
With the same restrictions in place since the beginning. The same thing happened with XP. I think... When did XP drop support? Actually, I think XP and Vista were dropped at the same time, actually. When does XP Steam drop? When was it? 2019. The same thing happened 4 years ago. If you didn't like that it was if you knew it happened on XP and it happened on Vista, stop buying games 4 years ago. You had 4 years to decide to stop doing this, and you kept buying games on Steam.
Because there were no other options other than piracy. Perhaps you don't mind...
Then pirate the game. That's fine. That's literally the reason why Steam exists. They offer the services better than piracy.
That time. Why? Because there were no other options other than piracy. Perhaps you don't mind throwing away money and losing access to things you legitimately purchased, but that does...
You don't lose access to it. Upgrade your operating system. It's still attached to your account. What I don't agree with is... Okay, here's what I will say. I don't like the fact that Valve can ban your account. That shouldn't be legal. Valve should not be able to ban your account, and that loses you access to your games. But in this case, you need to just upgrade your operating system. Just upgrade your operating system. You shouldn't be running Windows 7 anyway. Stop it.
Doesn't make it morally right. You're right. We do have GOG as an option, and we should buy those games when we can. Despite the wide selection, not all games are available to purchase. The majority of games are only available on a handful of marketplaces, including Steam.
Then pirate them.
Telling people to simply use GOG, or that they should have used GOG in the first place, is a pretty ignorant and piss-poor counterargument.
Taking away...
No, it's not. No, it's not. Because you knew 4 years ago what was going to happen. And you should have known fucking 5 years earlier than that. Anyone who got pissed off when XP was dropped, they're an idiot. Like, straight up, you are just a fucking moron if you didn't think that Steam was eventually going to drop XP support. That's all I have to say. You have to upgrade your OS. Yes. I have no sympathy for you. Upgrade your operating system. And if you don't want to upgrade on Windows, install Linux. And you might say, oh, but that's difficult and I'm not that technically literate and I don't have... Not my problem. That's genuinely not my problem. Find someone who knows how to do it. Watch a YouTube video. But also, if you're still running fucking 7 at this point, you are very technically literate. You are not like some grandma who's still on 7 because they, like, you know, they bought a computer 10 years ago. You are getting your Steam games working, and you're getting all of this software working on Windows 7. You are very technically literate. You know exactly what you're doing. You know how to upgrade an operating system. Let's not bullshit here. You know exactly what you're doing. Also, they can learn. Yeah. And if you don't want to learn, that's fine. But don't be surprised when people drop support for things that you're using.
Takes away our games. Don't do it. Now, this is another really long post.
Am I
There is one
2 times
part I want to
speed?
mention.
No, there
I
we
guess
go.
if you're going ahead with this, I should just refund this Steam Deck. If I can't trust you, I don't want it in my hands.
Oh my
What if I
God.
told you the Steam Deck would alleviate all of your problems? Now, obviously some games don't play perfectly fine under Linux, but you're probably not playing one of these live service games that are really a problem. And if you want to have, pretty much perfect game support, just chuck Windows 10 or Windows 11 on it, and boom, now you have a device that has Windows 10 that plays the games, and the problem goes away.
Very true, Brodie. Very true. What's he gonna say here?
To tell if you missed the poster's point entirely or are deliberately ignoring it. They are voting with their wallet by returning the Steam Deck and getting their money back.
Because they're a fucking moron! Yeah! Yeah, they're voting with their wallet and getting rid of the device that will fix their problem. There's no voting with your wallet here. You are like a group of 10 people. Valve doesn't care about you anymore. You are a tiny niche community. Windows 7 is a dead operating system. Vote with your wallet if you want to. You're not gonna do anything with it though.
Why would you continue buying products from companies you don't trust or don't want to support? It's like buying a Google Pixel just to install a custom ROM to get away from Google. It makes no sense.
No, it's not like that, because this user wants to keep playing their Steam games. They want to keep buying Steam games. They just want to do it on a dead operating system. It's not the same.
Be pretty obvious, but every single one of these posts and all of the others out there are completely empty threats. Not a single person is actually going to try and set up a lawsuit. And we know they're not going to because they're sitting on a forum complaining about Windows 7. And gamers are lazy, right? That's why they play games all day. They're going to wait for somebody else to make the lawsuit, who's going to wait for somebody else, who's going to wait for somebody else, and nobody's going to do it.
Very true, Brodie.
But I hope one of them do because they're going to lose and it'll be great content.
I hope someone does go forward with the lawsuit, but not for the same reasons you do. I hope the outcome of the lawsuit sets a precedent in favor of consumer rights. But of course, I'm sure Brodie would be crying.
It's not fucking dumb cunt. No! You don't want to have companies being forced to support operating systems that are dead. You do not want that. You don't want to encourage people to run an operating system that is blatantly insecure. Full stop. Full stop.
How bad that outcome would be for gamers, and that we should be helping corporations.
You said like fucking 2 minutes this entire video. I hate this channel. Oh my god, okay. Oh my god. Is this what this entire channel is? Oh my, Trafton's here. Oh my god, the entire channel is just absolute fucking garbage content. Wait, he's a Linux user. Why are you... Oh my god, this is... I hate this channel so much. Wait, was this channel... It's called Tech Bore, so I'm guessing it was started as like a anti-tech law channel. The entire video is a rebuttal channel. What is your top video? Yep, the entire channel is it's a rebuttal channel. Oh my god. Okay, you know what? Let's watch this one. Oh my god, the entire video is fucking Chris Titus again. Wait, did he even talk in this one? No.
We choose that, especially when it's an honest tier list.
Oh my god, he doesn't even talk in this one. Hey, Mr. Techbore, can I tell you something? This video from Chris was a shit post. This video wasn't serious. It was a complete shit post. Oh, I love it so much. Chris did such a good job on this video. He pissed off so many people with it. He's got to be 14? Very possible. I don't know. What does he have to say about Trafton? Let's have a look. I like Trafton. Trafton's a cool dude. You know what? We'll actually watch Trafton's video. I like Trafton. Okay, I don't want to be here forever, though. We'll watch you at 1.5 times speed. Let's have a look.
And there's tons of people that make different versions of Firefox. We've
Are we at one? Hold on. How fucking slow do you speak?
got things like Waterfox.
That was 1.5 times speed. Let's put you at double speed. Maybe you'll talk at a normal pace then.
and IceCat, and LibreWolf, and
Okay, that's much
all
better.
these. Today I want to tell you that you should not use any of them. If anything, most of them are probably a waste of your time. And I know that might sound
Wait,
really
what did he say?
Today, I want to tell you that you should not use Waterfox. And there's tons of people that make different versions of Firefox. We've got things like Waterfox, and IceCat, and LibreWolf, and all of these. Today, I want to tell you that you should not use any of them. If anything, most of them are probably
Very true, Trafton! Very fucking true. A lot of these Firefox forks are, like, very badly maintained.
a waste of your time. And I know that might sound really harsh, but to be honest, you know what you're doing, it's probably true.
Oh, so now you're going to be the Chris Titus tech of browsers, where forks of anything are always bad. Just because you know how to adjust the settings on a browser doesn't mean you enjoy doing it every single time you perform a fresh installation. Imagine if nobody updated their ISOs and everyone had to waste hours updating their OS from version 1. The fact is, browser forks save time and debloat the default experience for users. But yeah,
Nope. Most browser forks are very outdated, have security holes that never get patched, and are just generally bad ideas to run. Yeah. No, he's right. Most browser forks are not worth your time. There are a couple, like Vivaldi, Brave, Ungoogled Chromium, Opera GX if you like proprietary things. I'm sure there's a couple others I can think of. I don't know of any. Well, LibreWolf I would disagree with, because LibreWolf's effectively a Firefox config file. But most of the, like IceCat especially, no, don't run IceCat. Please don't fucking run IceCat. Pale Moon, yeah. Most of the Firefox forks are Qt. Well, Qt's its own thing. Qt is its own, like, it's not based on Firefox, isn't it? What's Qt based on? Isn't it WebKit? I want to say WebKit. Qt browser. No, Qt Web Engine. WebKit or Qt. I would avoid it. But considering no one's targeting such a tiny niche browser, like, this is the thing, right? The reason why there's so little Linux malware is because Linux is such, or like Linux desktop malware is because there's such like a small market share on the desktop. So if you're running a browser engine that also has like a very small market share, it kind of like hides in plain sight. Now, I wouldn't recommend that for like security. I would recommend running like a well-maintained browser, but it's not the worst of the options you can pick, right? Like, it's not a horrendous option. Use a VM? Sure, if you use a VM, do whatever the fuck you want. Unless you find some VM busting code, in which case you're kind of fucked. But no matter what, if you find some VM busting code, you are pretty fucked anyway.
yeah, let's continue to ignore that because purism.
There's a simple truth of when you use something like a web browser, you have to trust lots of people to do it.
Look, I'm not saying Traffiton is wrong about trust, but I'm definitely going to put more trust in a browser with no history of scandals and questionable practices, such as Firefox.
So now what's Firefox doing? Well, every time you download Firefox, there's a unique identifier, so they can track who installed it versus who downloaded it. And of course, they're tying all.
Hey, do you want to know that fucking IceCat and all these browsers are forks of Firefox? So when these problems exist in Firefox, oftentimes they are also in these forks. Oftentimes they don't actually get removed. So the issue's still actually there. Also, I'm not surprised he's a Switch to Linux fan. I genuinely am not surprised.
All this information to Google Analytics, which can de-anonymize you, by the way. So Firefox knows exactly who you are and if you are distributing that download or not.
Don't get me wrong. I'll happily choose Firefox any day over Chromium-based browsers, but LibreWolf offers a better default experience for users versus Firefox. Not to mention,
I will disagree with Trafton's point about LibreWolf. LibreWolf is a Firefox config file, basically.
LibreWolf hasn't done anything shady or questionable to my
It's Firefox, so everything shady that Firefox has done, LibreWolf has done. Yeah.
knowledge. Let me know in the comments if that's not the case.
But when you compare this to a lot of Firefox forks, you don't see as many Firefox forks as you do in the Chromium world. A lot of them don't have big companies or organizations involved.
Let's not mislead
From my understanding, that's because Firefox is a disaster to write forks for.
viewers, please. Having big companies behind projects doesn't guarantee anything. How many projects had Google's money behind it, only to be killed off a couple years later? Even Microsoft.
Yeah, Google and Microsoft are shit companies, though.
killed off their own browser code in favor of turning Edge into a Chromium-based browser.
Now that I've
That's because their own browser engine was a bad idea, and they finally realized that after like 20 years. They fucking realized they have no idea how to write a browser engine.
told you not to use a fork of Firefox, let me tell you to use a fork of Firefox. Let me introduce to you the Mullvad browser. You've probably heard of Mullvad before, the VPN company. You know, maybe you've used them, maybe you haven't. But what's most interesting about the Mullvad browser is the Mullvad browser is a new fork of Firefox. It's based on the extended support release of Firefox, which is much slower to adopt features, but the engine underneath is all the same as modern Firefox.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Let me get this straight.
That's not wrong. What are you gonna say here?
You've spent multiple videos bashing forks of Firefox, not to mention the little lecture at the beginning of this video, and now you're suddenly recommending a fork of Firefox?
Because the Mullvad
Oh my fucking god, he's a dickhead. He... Did you hear the point that Trafton said before about forks that are well maintained? That's what Mullvad is. You fucking idiot. Oh my god. This channel has to be run by a 14-year-old, surely. Surely.
browser is perfectly privacy hardened by default and has the minimum number of extensions you might want in order to browse the internet and have convenience.
For the record, I didn't know anything about the Mullvad browser, but I can guarantee it's going to be better maintained than most of these forks.
While doing so, meaning you don't have to configure Firefox, you don't have to go out and look up what extensions to download, you don't even need to pay Mullvad a subscription for their VPN service. You can use it as is.
If only there was a browser that already did that. I can't believe there isn't a Firefox fork that doesn't already do this by default.
And everyone who uses the Mullvad browser is not only getting an easy access to a
Yeah, mental health will just say it's good. Yeah, that I'm sure it's a great VPN service. I don't know about that browser, but yeah.
configured Firefox with all of your privacy settings all in line and all of your nice feature settings all in line.
See this green bar on the Brave side? I like this green bar. Let's have a look at that green bar again.
And everyone who uses the Mullvad browser is not only getting an easy access to a pre-configured
bar.
Firefox with all of your privacy settings all in line and all of your nice feature settings all in line, the Mullvad browser also lumps their users into the same pool of people who use the Tor browser, which further adds to an army of people who all look the same.
You know, he does have a point. Even
No, he doesn't actually. That's a bad point. I would lump them in with Firefox or Chrome. That's a much better idea. Tor's a very small pool.
LibreWolf says not to use their browser with the Tor network in their FAQ. Plus, blending in with the Tor users is a nice feature.
Well, there are some caveats that keep
Not really. You're a lot better off blending in with Chrome or Firefox because they're just the biggest pool.
the Mullvad browser from being the browser for most people, but it does fulfill its job of being a specialized browser, and I'll try to explain the downsides as to why it's a more specialized browser.
Good grief. Just pick a lane and stick to it.
For one, you can't use
What the fuck was that? What was that? Let's listen to that again.
try to explain the downsides as to why it's a more specialized browser.
Good grief. Just pick a lane and stick to it.
What was that? Holy shit. Just use Tor if you want to use Tor. Exactly. Just use fucking Tor.
For one, you can't use the screenshot utility that's built inside of Firefox.
Firefox is a screenshot utility? Why? Just use a screenshot tool. I didn't know they had that.
Firefox comes with a screenshot tool. Have you ever tried it? Just
No,
Control-Shift-S.
literally
Shift-S if
never.
you're on Mac, and you can take a screenshot of any element on a web page. This is not included in the Mullvad browser.
Wow, what a waste. The poor children.
Like there isn't already a screenshot key on a typical keyboard, or
Very
dozens of
true.
other easy programs that can do it for you. But sure, tell me how not including it in the Mullvad browser is such a tragedy.
You also can't save your logins, because the Mullvad browser is based off of the Tor browser. Anything that is saved inside of your browser, unless it's your bookmarks, is deleted. You can't save any logins inside the Mullvad browser, yes, even if you configure it in the settings.
Nobody should be saving their logins in the browser anyway. So again,
I will agree with that. Yeah, don't save your logins in the browser.
tell me how this is such a tragedy.
And finally, the
He's
last
not saying it's a tragedy. He's saying it's a missing feature. Are you fucking moron? Actually, no, you are. You actually are a moron. He's not saying it's a tragedy. He's saying this is a feature that is missing because users might want to use them, but they're not here. Holy shit.
last pain point is Mullvad the company. Now, I'm sure Mullvad's a fine company. The privacy policy is very reputable. They've been rated by the Swedish government and haven't given anything. They have very frequent security audits every year. But if you don't use Mullvad, well, this does leading to you having to use and trust Mullvad, even though you're not using their VPN service.
Is this guy a retard?
Using any of Mullvad's products requires you to trust the company. Just because you don't use all of their products doesn't mean they're untrustworthy. In fact, it's a good
That's not what he said, you moron!
Good strategy because you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. That's why I don't use Proton for absolutely everything.
No, you don't use Proton because Proton's a fucking honeypot.
And the last pain point, even though you're not using their VPN service.
He's not saying that it's bad because of that. He's saying that you have to trust them, and this is a new thing you have to trust. This might be one of the dumbest people I've ever heard. Holy shit.
Is this guy a retard?
Using any of Mullvad's products requires you to trust the company. Just because you don't use all of their products doesn't mean they're untrustworthy.
I use Proton.
In fact, it's a good strategy because
But you're also probably not doing human trafficking and selling crypto. So, that's fine. Use Proton, but like don't use it for illegal shit, because it's a honeypot.
not putting all your eggs in one basket. That's why I don't use Proton for absolutely everything.
And the last pain point of the Mullvad browser is it's very young. Not many people use it right now.
He's saying they're pain points, not that it's bad. Does this guy think when you say pain point, that just means it's a, like, inherently a bad feature? No, that's not what that means. It just means it's something that's missing that you might be bothered by.
Because most people who do use it are people who are either Mullvad users or people like me who are crazies who want to try out the new shiny thing. And that is why I'm recommending it. I am selfishly recommending it because it is the easiest way to get privacy hard in Firefox. You get thrown into a large pool of people who look like the Tor browser, and you don't have to think about all of the configuration or fingerprinting or updating your script.
I still don't think you should pretend to be the Tor browser. You should probably pretend to be Firefox or Chrome. Pretend to be Firefox or Chrome on Windows.
Or your user.js file. It's all done for you.
And fortunately, we have a product for people who aren't able to get some form of connectivity. It's called Xbox 360.
Funny how you're more willing to push a Firefox fork that's been around for less than a year, but recommending an established fork like LibreWolf, which offers most of the same features and benefits, is completely out of the question.
I'm on one side. I'm on the other side. I'm on the East Bank. I'm on the West Bank.
No, that's not what he's... No.
It is not that critical.
No, that's... No. 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 He's saying he doesn't... I hate this guy. This is one of the worst Linux YouTubers I've ever seen.